Introduction. My name is Helen. I am 24 years old. I live in a city and I work in a very big company there. Every morning, I wake up early and go to my job. The company has many people, and it is a busy place. I sit at my desk and work on different tasks every day. It is a good job, and I like most of my colleagues. My boss at this company is a man named Brad. He is very handsome. He has dark hair and a kind smile. He is also very smart and good at his work. Many people in the office respect him. When he walks by, he always says hello to everyone. He is polite and friendly. Sometimes he asks me about my work or he gives me new tasks. When Brad talks to me, my heart starts to beat very fast. It feels like a little drum inside my chest. I feel a bit nervous, but also happy. This is because I have a secret. I love Brad. This feeling is very strong, but I keep it hidden deep inside me. No one knows about my love for him, not my family, not my best friend, and especially not Brad himself. It is my big secret. I want to tell him how I feel. Sometimes the words are almost on my tongue, but then I feel too shy. I think, what if he does not like me? What if he laughs at me? What if he gets angry? These thoughts stop me every time. I am afraid of his answer. So I just smile and nod, and I do not say anything about my true feelings. I act like he is just my boss, nothing more. Every night before I go to sleep, I think about Brad. I dream about him often. In my dreams, we talk and laugh together. Sometimes we go for a walk or we drink coffee. These dreams are very nice and they make me happy. But then I wake up and I remember that it was only a dream. It is not real. So I continue to love him in silence. I watch him from afar in the office. I see him talk to other people. I see him work. It is hard to keep this secret love. It is like carrying a heavy bag all the time, but I do it. I hope one day, maybe, things can change. But for now, Brad is my boss and my love for him is a secret. It is a quiet, hidden part of my life. 2. A surprise. One evening, Helen was at home, feeling tired after a long day at work. She was quiet, thinking about her boss, Brad, as she often did. Then her younger sister, Nima, came into the room. Nima was 22 years old. She looked very happy. Her eyes were bright and a big smile was on her face. Helen saw Nima's joy. She felt a little happy for her sister. Nima sat down next to Helen. "I have wonderful news, Helen," Nima said. Her voice was full of excitement. "I met someone today. He is a very kind man." We spent a long time talking. Helen listened carefully. She wondered who this new person was. Nima talked about him. She said he was smart and funny. He made her laugh a lot. Nima's happiness filled the entire room. Helen smiled, thinking it was good that Nima found someone nice. Then Nima said, "His name is Brad." When Helen heard that name, her world stopped completely. It was like a loud, crashing noise inside her head. Her smile disappeared at once. Her heart felt very cold and heavy in her chest. Brad. It was the same name as her boss. It was the same man Helen loved in secret. She could not believe it. Her sister, Nima, was talking about her Brad. The man Helen dreamed about every night. The man she loved silently. Helen felt a terrible, sharp pain in her chest. It was a deep pain that made it hard to breathe. She wanted to scream out loud. She wanted to run far away from that room, but she had to stay still. She had to hide her true feelings from Nima. Nima was still smiling. She was still talking happily about how wonderful Brad was. Nima did not see the shock on Helen's face. Nima did not know Helen's big, secret love. Helen took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. She tried to make her face look normal again. She tried to smile, but it was very hard. Her mouth felt stiff and strange. That is good news, Nima," Helen said. Her voice sounded quiet and shaky to her own ears. Nima did not notice anything wrong. She continued to talk about Brad. She said they had a good time together. She felt very happy with him. Helen listened to her sister's happy words, but inside, Helen's heart was breaking into many small pieces. She felt very sad. She felt very alone. The man she loved was now with her own sister. Helen had to pretend to be happy for Nima. She had to pretend everything was fine, but it was not fine at all. It was the worst surprise of her entire life. Helen's secret love was now Nima's new love. Helen knew her life would change a lot. She did not know what to do next. The pain was too much. She just sat there, listening to Nima, hiding her deep pain and trying her best to smile for her sister. 3. I tell my secret. After Nima told me about Brad, many days passed. Each day was very difficult. I tried to live normally, but inside I felt a deep sadness. My secret love for Brad was now a big problem. He was with my sister. I felt confused and very unhappy. I thought about him all the time. I thought about Nima. It was a big secret, and it felt very bad to keep it hidden. I could not eat well, and I could not sleep well at night. The secret was like a heavy stone on my chest. I knew I had to do something. I could not hide my true feelings forever. I had to be brave, even if it was scary. It was a very hard decision, but I decided to tell Brad everything. I felt I had no other choice. My heart pushed me to speak. I hoped that maybe, just maybe, he would understand. One evening, after work, I went to find him. My legs felt weak as I walked towards his office. My heart beat very fast in my chest. I was so afraid of what he would say. But I also felt a small bit of hope. Maybe he would feel something for me too. I found him alone in his office, working late. I stood in front of him. My hands were shaking slightly. I tried to speak, but no words came out at first. I took a deep breath. Then I told him my secret. I said, "Brad, I love you. I have loved you for a long time." My voice was quiet, but the words were clear. Brad looked at me. His face was cold. There was no kindness in his eyes. My small hope quickly disappeared. He did not smile. He did not look surprised. He just looked at me with a hard expression. He spoke, and his words were very direct and firm. He said, "Helen, I am with your sister now. You must forget about this. Forget about me." His voice was flat. It was not angry, but it was very firm. His words hit me hard. They felt like a sharp knife cutting my heart. All my dreams broke into many small pieces. I stood there, feeling very small. I felt weak and completely broken inside. My eyes started to hurt, but I did not want to cry in front of him. I just wanted to leave. I wanted to run far away from that place. It was the worst moment of my life. My secret was finally out, but it brought only pain. A sad day. The wedding day came quickly. Helen felt a heavy feeling in her heart. She did not want this day to come. The sun shone, and people were happy. The place was full of bright flowers and soft music. Everyone looked excited for Brad and Nima. Helen wore a nice dress, trying her best to look happy. Her sister, Nima, looked beautiful in her white dress. Brad looked handsome in his dark suit. Helen watched them walk slowly down the aisle. Nima smiled brightly at Brad, and he smiled back. Helen felt a sharp pain in her chest. The music played softly. The priest spoke. Helen stood with the other guests, watching every moment carefully. It felt like a bad dream. She saw Brad take Nima's hand. He put a small, shining ring on her finger. They said, "I do." These two simple words changed everything for Helen. Her secret love was now married to her own sister. Helen's eyes felt hot, but she did not let tears fall. She blinked them away quickly. She forced a smile, but it was not real. Her face hurt from trying to look happy. Inside, her heart was breaking into many small pieces. She thought about her deep feelings for Brad. She had loved him for a very long time. Now, he was not hers. He was Nima's husband. The guests clapped loudly and cheered. They thought it was a wonderful day. They did not know Helen's secret pain or see her sad heart. Later, at the party, Helen tried to talk and laugh, but every laugh felt empty. Every conversation was hard. She wanted only to go home. She saw Brad and Nima dancing. They looked very happy. This made Helen feel even worse. She felt very alone in the big, noisy room. The day was very long. Every minute felt like an hour. Helen wished she could disappear. Finally, the day ended. Helen went home. She felt tired and her heart was heavy. It was the most difficult day of her life. She watched the man she loved marry her sister. The memory would stay with her. It was a day of deep sadness. 5. He calls me. Months went by after the wedding. Many weeks turned into months. Life was quiet for some time. I tried to forget Brad and his marriage to my sister, Nima. I tried to focus on my work and my own life. I hoped that with time, the pain would go away. I tried to be happy for Nima, even though it was hard. But then, Brad started to change. His behavior became different. He began to call me. The calls came very late at night. Sometimes it was 10 o'clock. Sometimes it was even later, at 11 or 12 o'clock. He would call my phone, and sometimes he would send messages too. His words were always about meeting. He asked me to meet him. He said we should meet in a place where no one could see us. He wanted to meet in secret. He said it was important that we talked alone. My heart felt confused. A small part of me still remembered how I had loved him, but my mind knew it was very wrong. He was married to my sister, Nima, so I always said no. I told him no many times. I said, "Brad, you are married to Nima. You must love her. This is not right." I told him, "We cannot do this. You should be a good husband to my sister." I repeated these words again and again. I hoped he would understand and stop calling me, but he did not listen. He kept calling. He kept asking to meet. He did not stop. At work, his eyes would often follow me. I felt like he was always watching me from across the office. It felt like a strange and bad game. I did not want to play this game at all. I felt trapped. I felt like I could not escape from his calls and his requests. I wanted him to stop. I wanted him to leave me alone. He was Nima's husband, and that was the truth I held on to. I tried to be strong. I tried to push him away with my words. Every call made me feel sad. Every message made me feel worried. I worried about Nima. What if she found out about these secret calls? I worried about myself. I did not want any trouble or problems in my life. But Brad did not seem to care about my feelings or the difficult situation. He just kept trying to meet me. He sometimes said he was not happy in his marriage. He said many things to try and make me feel sorry for him. But I knew it was not my place to listen to such things. I had told him my feelings before, and he had said no to me. Now he was married, and he should respect his marriage and his wife. I kept saying no, hoping he would finally understand that I would not meet him. But he did not. He continued to call. He continued to ask. These calls and messages were a secret between us. It was a heavy secret that I carried alone. I did not tell Nima because I did not want to hurt her or cause problems in her new life. I just wanted Brad to stop. I wanted peace in my life, but peace did not come. The calls continued, making my life difficult. I felt very alone with this problem. Brad's actions made me feel confused and very sad. He was the man I had loved, but now he was doing something very wrong, and I was caught in the middle of it all. I just wanted him to love Nima and leave me alone forever, but he would not. 6. A big problem. Helen felt tired. For many weeks, Brad had called her. He wanted to meet in secret. Helen always said no. She told him to stop. She told him to love Nima, his wife. But Brad did not listen. He made Helen feel trapped. She wanted peace. One evening, Helen was at her house alone. Nima, her younger sister, was not there. Nima was visiting a friend. Helen thought about making a quiet dinner. Suddenly, there was a knock at her door. Helen felt fear. Her heart jumped. She knew it was Brad. She had not invited him. Helen opened the door a little. Brad stood outside. He looked serious. "Helen," he said, "I need to talk to you." Helen shook her head. "No, Brad," she said. Her voice was strong. "You must not be here. Please go away." But Brad pushed the door open gently and walked inside. Helen stepped back. She felt cornered. "Brad, this is wrong," she said, her voice louder. "Nima is my sister. You are her husband. You cannot be in my house." Brad did not listen. He looked sad. "I am very unhappy, Helen," he said. "My marriage is difficult. Nima is not the woman I thought she was. I made a big mistake." He took a step closer. Helen felt a mix of old pain and new anger. "Stop it, Brad," she shouted. "You must fix your marriage. You must love Nima. You cannot come here and say these things to me." Brad reached out his hand towards her. "Please, Helen, give me a chance. I know you loved me once." Helen quickly moved away. She pushed his arm. "No, I told you no many times. You must leave right now," she demanded. She needed him to understand. Just then, the front door opened. Nima stood there. She had come home early. She looked surprised. Then her eyes saw Brad in the living room. Her eyes then went to Helen, who was pushing Brad's arm away. Nima's face turned bright red. Her eyes became narrow, full of anger. "Brad, what are you doing here?" she screamed. Her voice was loud and sharp. Brad looked shocked. He tried to speak, but no sound came out. He looked at Nima, then at Helen, then at the door. Nima's eyes fixed on Helen. Her face was full of hate. "Helen," she screamed again, even louder. How could you do this?" Helen felt terrible shock. Tears filled her eyes. "Nima, no, it's not what you think. Please listen to me," she cried. She tried to move towards her sister, but Nima did not listen. She took 2 steps back. "You are a liar," she shouted. "You are a traitor. You tried to steal my husband." Brad quickly turned and left the house. He did not say a word. He just ran away. Helen stood there, her body shaking. "Nima, please, he came here. I told him to leave. I pushed him away," she pleaded. Nima shook her head fiercely. Her whole body trembled with rage. "I saw him, Helen. I saw him in your house. I saw you with him," she yelled. She would not believe Helen. Nima turned and ran out of the house. She did not want to be near Helen. Helen stood alone in her living room. The silence was heavy. Her hands were shaking. Her heart felt broken. Nima thought she was a terrible person. Nima thought she had betrayed her. Soon, the terrible news spread. Nima told her parents. She told her other family members. She told all her friends. Everyone heard Nima's story. They all thought Helen was the problem. They believed Helen had tried to take Nima's husband. They believed Helen was selfish and dishonest. Helen felt very alone. No one called her. No one came to see her. No one listened to her side. No one believed her. She had done nothing wrong. She had told Brad to leave many times. She had said no to his calls again and again. She had pushed him away. But now, everyone looked at her with disappointment and anger. They saw her as the person who had tried to ruin Nima's marriage. It was a big problem, a very big problem for Helen. She did not know what to do. She felt like a stranger in her own home, in her own family. The weight of the situation was heavy on her shoulders. She was innocent, but no one believed her. Her world felt cold and dark. 7, the real story. Many days passed, then many weeks. Life at home was very difficult for Helen. Nima, her sister, was very angry. She did not speak to Helen. When she looked at Helen, her eyes were cold. Helen's family also looked at her with shame. They believed Nima's story. They thought Helen tried to take Nima's husband. Helen felt very alone in the house. She ate her meals in silence. She went to her room early. She cried sometimes when no one could hear her. It was a very hard time. Helen felt like a stranger in her own home. She wanted to explain, but no one listened. Brad still tried to call Helen. His phone calls came at night or during the day. He sent many messages, but Helen did not answer. She blocked his number. She did not want to hear from him. She wanted him to leave her alone. She wanted peace. She knew she had done nothing wrong. She hoped that one day the truth would come out. One afternoon, Nima was at home. Brad was at work. Nima was looking for something on Brad's phone. Maybe she was looking for a photo or a contact number. As she looked, she saw many messages from Brad to Helen. She saw Helen's name on the screen. Nima's eyes opened wide. She felt a little bit angry at first. She thought, why is Brad messaging Helen so much? She started to read the messages. Nima read the first message. It was from Brad. He asked Helen to meet him. He said he was not happy. Then Nima read Helen's answer. Helen said no. Helen told Brad he must love his wife. Nima read more messages. Each message from Brad asked Helen to meet. Each message from Helen said no. Helen always told Brad to stop. She always told him to think about his wife. Nima read every single message. She saw how Brad kept trying. She saw how Helen kept saying no. Helen never agreed to meet him. She never agreed to do anything wrong. Slowly, Nima's face changed. Her anger started to go away. A new feeling came. It was shock. Then it was sadness. She saw the truth clearly. Helen was not the problem. Helen was not a traitor. Helen always said no. Brad was the problem. Brad was the one who kept asking. Brad was the one who was not honest. Nima's heart felt heavy. Her world felt like it was breaking. just like Helen's world broke when Nima first told her about Brad. Nima closed Brad's phone. She sat down slowly. She looked around the room. Everything looked different now. She had believed a lie. She had blamed her sister. She finally understood. Brad was the one who betrayed her. He tried to meet Helen many times. He told Helen he was unhappy. He did this while he was Nima's husband. The real story was not what Nima thought. The real story was that Brad was wrong, not Helen. Nima knew she needed to talk to Helen. She needed to say sorry. 8. A new life. Nima made a big decision. She left Brad. She started the process to get a divorce. It was a hard time for Nima and for the family. There were many sad feelings in the house for some time, but for Helen, a heavy weight lifted. She felt free at last. The secret love she kept for so long was gone. The deep pain in her heart slowly went away. She could finally breathe easily. A big part of her life, filled with sadness, was now over. She felt like a new person. Brad tried to call Helen many times. He sent her messages on her phone. He wanted to talk to her and explain. But Helen did not answer him. She did not want to speak to him ever again. She told him no for the last time. She made a clear choice. She chose herself and her own well-being. She chose to have a peaceful life, far away from all the problems Brad brought. She wanted a quiet future without any more sadness or lies. His calls were now just noise she could ignore. Helen and Nima slowly started to fix their relationship. It was not easy. There was still some hurt between them, but they talked often. They spent time together, sharing their thoughts and feelings. Nima understood that Helen was not wrong. Helen understood that Nima also felt much pain. They worked hard to forgive each other. Their bond as sisters was not the same as before, but it slowly grew stronger again. They learned to trust each other one more time, day by day. This healing was very important. This difficult experience taught Helen a very important lesson about love. She learned that real love does not come with lies. It does not bring pain or secrets. Real love is honest and kind. It builds people up. It does not break them. Helen knew that her feelings for Brad were not real love. They were a dream that turned into a nightmare. She understood that true happiness comes from within, not from trying to win someone else's heart unfairly. Helen walked away from the past. She left all the bad memories behind her. She began a new life. It was a life without secrets. It was a life full of hope for the future. She felt strong inside. She was ready for new beginnings and new adventures. She knew she would find true happiness on her own path. She looked forward to each new day with a light heart and a clear mind. She was finally living for herself, building a future she truly wanted.